July 2013. An open water diver entered Devil's Ear in Florida without a cave certification, but he would never come back. The cave entrance looked very beautiful and inviting that summer day. Crystal clear water, warm sunlight filtering through, happy families swimming near the shore. But beyond the sunlight, a completely dark cave was waiting for its victim. Devil's Ear is located at Ginnie Springs, one of Florida's most popular dive sites. Located in Gilchrist County, approximately 30 miles northwest of Gainesville, the spring system attracts divers from around the world. The spring provides water at a constant 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Visibility is over 100 feet. From above, the entrance looks absolutely mesmerizing. A wide, oval-shaped opening in the limestone surrounded by white sand and lush green plants. But behind that beauty lies a cave, completely dark with narrow passages and zero visibility. Devil's Ear is not a place to be taken lightly. It's the entrance to one of the most extensive underwater cave systems in North Florida. The main passage extends more than 6,000 feet underground, with side tunnels and narrow passages requiring advanced skills. The cave system connects to another spring entrance called Devil's Eye, just 200 feet away, forming a flow-through system between them. The current at Devil's Ear is very powerful. Water flows at a rate that can reach 100 million gallons per day. This flow creates a constant push against divers trying to enter the cave. Swimming inward feels like fighting a river. When swimming outward, the current helps, pulling divers toward the exit. That is, if you can find the exit. In July 2013, a diver came to Ginnie Springs. I searched for the diver's name in reports, but couldn't find it. They probably concealed it for legal reasons. If you happen to find the diver's name, you can write it in the comments. For now, let's call the diver Patrick so you can better understand the incident. Patrick was an open water certified diver, meaning he had basic scuba diving certification for recreational diving. But he had no cave training. He had no special equipment. He had no knowledge about the risks he was about to take. So would you enter a cave for exploration without special equipment and training? Well, Patrick was about to do exactly that. Open water certification teaches you to dive in environments where you can always swim directly to the surface. Lakes, ocean reefs, quarries, places where you can swim directly upward when something goes wrong. But caves are different from these places. In a cave, there is no up. There's only out, and out requires passing through dozens of irregularly shaped passages in complete darkness. It eliminates the most basic safety feature of open water diving, direct access to the surface. Cave diving requires special training. You need to take multiple courses to get a full cave certification. Training covers how to use guidelines, air management while in caves, how to act in emergencies, and psychological preparation. But Patrick had none of these. He checked in at Ginnie Springs. Staff asked to see his certification card. He showed his open water card. They explained that Devil's Ear was a cave system and required cave certification. Signs are posted throughout the property. Cave diving is dangerous. Do not enter without proper certification. Still, he signed the waiver. The waiver is clear. It states that cave diving can result in serious injury or death. It tells you you're entering a challenging environment in complete darkness with no direct access to the surface. But waivers don't stop curious people. They just protect the property owner in case something goes wrong. He geared up with basic recreational equipment: single aluminum tank, standard regulator, fins, mask, snorkel, one dive light, no guideline reel, no backup lights, no redundant air source. Everything was wrong, but Patrick didn't care at all. He descended from the entrance. The passage immediately opens wide, a cathedral-like entrance with smooth walls and sandy floor. The water is extremely clear. Sunlight penetrates about 30 feet down, illuminating the entrance area, then disappears. And then you're completely alone in total darkness. Permanent guidelines run along the left wall, installed and maintained by the cave diving community for years. These lines are the highways of the cave system. If you follow them, you'll always find your way out. That is, if you know how to follow them. After the warning signs, the guidelines ended. Patrick swam deeper. The passage continued downward with increasing gradient. The walls closed in slightly. Side passages branched in multiple directions. Without a guideline to follow, without cave navigation training, every passage looked the same. Patrick kept swimming. The cave system at Devil's Ear is a labyrinth. Passages branch and reconnect. Some lead to dead ends. Others loop back on themselves. Without reference points, without markers, in the beam of a single light, every turn looks the same. Patrick panicked a bit but kept going. Panic is a diver's worst enemy. It destroys rational thinking. It causes mistakes. It depletes oxygen faster. Heart rate increases. Breathing becomes rapid and shallow. Vision narrows. Patrick's air supply was limited. A single aluminum 80 cubic foot tank holds approximately 40 minutes of air under normal conditions. But in a cave, under stress, breathing rapidly, that time drops dramatically. 20 minutes, 15, maybe less. Patrick was running out of time. It's unknown from reports how far Patrick went into the cave, which passages he entered, which turns he made, or how far he progressed is unknown. What's known is that he never came back. Hours passed. When he didn't return, Ginny Springs staff became suspicious and launched a search. Cave rescue divers entered Devil's Ear. These were highly trained experts who knew caves, members of the International Underwater Cave Rescue and Recovery Team. They entered the system with full cave equipment, twin tanks, multiple lights, guidelines, and years of experience. They followed the permanent guidelines along the main passages, checking side tunnels and restrictions. The cave system was extensive, thousands of feet of passages to search. Days later, they found Patrick. Patrick's body was found very deep in the cave system, far beyond where any open water diver should go, away from the main guideline. His single oxygen tank was completely empty. His single light was completely dead, and he had died completely alone. The recovery took hours. Cave recoveries are dangerous and technical operations. Rescue divers have to pass through tight passages, manage Patrick's body through narrow passages, and ensure their own safety throughout the process. When they brought Patrick to the surface, the cause of death was clear: drowning due to running out of air in an overhead environment. But the real cause was simpler than that. Patrick had entered a cave without training. Post-accident analysis stated, lack of training. Patrick had no cave diving certification. He didn't know cave navigation, didn't know how to use guidelines, didn't know what to do in an emergency, and had no psychological preparation for the stress of being trapped underground. Inadequate equipment, single tank with no backup air source, one light with no backups, no guideline reel. In cave diving, every critical piece of equipment must have a backup. Ignored warnings. Signs at Ginny Springs clearly state that cave diving requires certification. The waiver explains the dangers. Staff warns during registration. But none of this stopped Patrick. No dive plan. Cave divers plan every dive. Maximum depth, maximum penetration distance, emergency procedures. But Patrick had no plan beyond explore the cave. If he had known any of these factors, he might be alive now. If he'd had cave training, he would have known he shouldn't enter. If he'd had a friend, someone could have stopped him. If he'd followed the warnings, he'd still be alive. But all the factors combined, and the cave took another life, as it always does. After the 2013 death, Ginny Springs moved to stricter enforcement. Staff now check certifications more carefully and strictly. Warning signs are more prominent. The message is clearer. If you're not cave certified, don't enter. But enforcement only goes so far. The cave system is accessible. The water is open to the public. Determined people can break the rules and find ways to enter. And some die. So what do you think should be done? I mean, what needs to be done to keep people away from situations like this? Cave diving is not an extreme sport for adrenaline junkies. It's a technical discipline requiring training, planning, and respect. What the caves care about is not your courage. They only care about whether you have the skills to survive in an unforgiving environment. The open water diver who entered Devil's Ear in July 2013 didn't have those skills. He thought the cave looked inviting. He thought he could handle it. He thought the warnings didn't apply to him. He was wrong. Devil's Ear remains open today. The water is still extremely clear. The passage is still there, waiting for the next diver to enter. The permanent guidelines still run along the walls, going into the depths of darkness. And in the depths, the warning signs continue to warn. Cave diving is dangerous. Do not enter without proper certification. July 2013 proved why those warnings exist. But the dangers of cave diving weren't limited to Devil's Ear. Years ago, in 1949 in England, a diver named Gordon Marriott entered the water-filled passages of Wookey Hole and never came back. What really happened in that completely dark and winding cave is one of the earliest and most chilling tragedies in cave diving history. But that story is the subject of our next video. That's all for now.